Good evening. My name is Lauren DeBerkey, the Executive Director of FACE, Fresno Area Community Enterprises, and I want to welcome you to our first ever virtual fundraising event. Thanks so much for joining us, whether you're doing it here locally or out of the area. We appreciate you being a part of our celebration tonight. I want to especially thank those who are watching from the East Coast. We recognize this is later than normal for you. We appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully you'll enjoy the evening. For those of you that know me, you know that I'm a people person, and normally at this time of year, we're around nicely decorated tables, interacting with one another and enjoying some fine food. Even though that's not happening this year, we hope to make this a festive event for everybody, and we hope that you will be inspired by the stories tonight that we share. Tonight, we want to share some good news with you. God is on the move in Fresno, and he's making a difference, bringing people together to renew neighborhoods throughout the city. And we're seeing it one person at a time, one family at a time, and one neighborhood at a time. You may have noticed the red balloons that came up on the email or on our website or even on the broadcast tonight. That red balloon is a symbol of hope and resilience for all those that have overcome remarkable obstacles and made progress in going forward in life. So we want to honor them, and you'll hear stories of people that have made some significant life changes. And we want to thank you too for being a part in your support of restoring hope and renewing neighborhoods. I also want to let you know that neighborhood revitalization is not just happening in the Robinson Hoover neighborhood where we work, but it's happening across our city. And I'm privileged to be a part of the CEDP, which is the Community Economic Development Partnership. And I want to give a shout out to my friends who are working in different geographical parts of the city in some of the most under-resourced, disadvantaged neighborhoods in Fresno. And we're working together because we believe we're stronger together than if we worked in isolated parts. So thank you to my friends in the CEDP and all those who believe in making our city better. We know that it'll take every segment of society for us to make a difference in this time and era. And so we're thankful for businesses, churches, agencies, and schools coming together for the sake of the prosperity of our city. So grab some snacks, relax, and get your favorite drink. And I hope you'll enjoy the evening tonight. We celebrate hope and restoration. With that, I want to turn it over now to Rhonda Duick, our lead administrator and past banquet coordinator. And Rhonda's going to give us an explanation of how this virtual raffle and live auction is going to work tonight. Rhonda, welcome, and please tell us what to do tonight.
Good evening. As Lauren said, I'm Rhonda Duick. I'm the lead administrator here at FACE, and I love being part of this organization. I want to thank you for tuning in this evening to our first ever live FACE event, another first for FACE. If you know me and have been around for a while, you know that one of my favorite responsibilities is getting to help lead a team and implement what is usually a phenomenal banquet where we all get to be together in the same room and hear about what's happening. But we do like to challenge ourselves, and so due to COVID-19, we are getting a chance to stretch ourselves in some big ways. Definitely a stretch out of our comfort zone. And so I appreciate your understanding and your patience with us in this new format. Due to not all being able to be together in the same place, we still tried to find a fun way to raise some money through some raffles and a live auction. I'm fully aware the system is not perfect, but we're trying our best to make it successful. And thanks to a great team of people, we are doing just that. So I want to thank you to those who donated perhaps a handcrafted item or a gift certificate or a meal or a dessert. I am really appreciative and grateful for that. And for those of you who wanted to donate, but because of our capacity, we weren't able to this year, I appreciate your understanding. And we're praying that next year we are all together in the same room with an abundance of items. I realize this new format may have been confusing for you and me, but hopefully you've been able to figure it out. So I'm going to do a short recap of some details. If you have questions after I finished about how to navigate these things, you are welcome to call the FACE office at 559 431-3223, and we have some very friendly people available to help you. Although we only have a couple of lines, so again, please be patient. On the FACE website, which is facefresno.org, you can see we have 35 items up for raffle. Each raffle corresponds with a letter from A through JJ. If you use your cursor and hover over the lowercase I, it will give you additional information about that item. You can find out dimensions, or perhaps who made it, or the value of the item. Now, I want to remind you that each raffle ticket costs $5. You can text to pay. Directions are in the email that was sent out this morning, and on the website, facefresno.org. Just click raffle at the top. Or you can click the donation button on our website. You can pay online, and in the notes section, you can specify which items you would like to have how many raffle tickets given to. Or thirdly, you can call the FACE office 431-3223. But time is short. Raffle tickets can only be purchased until 7:30 this evening. At the end of our program, there will be a drawing. I'll draw the names and the winning name of the raffle person, and you'll be able to hear your name announced. And then I also will be texting or emailing you later this evening to let you know that you won and arrange a time for you to come pick up your item starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. If you live out of town, I'd be happy to chat with you about you making a little extra donation, and we'll ship it to you. And also, there are 3 items in our live auction: a phenomenal mountain cabin weekend stay near Mono Lake, or 6 Disneyland one-day hopper tickets, which, just for your information, don't expire until October of 21. Or you can stay for a relaxing weekend in a beach house in Morro Bay. What you need to do with these is text the phone number that corresponds with the item. There is a friendly volunteer, a friend of FACE, who's standing by and will let you know if your bid number is the highest one, and they will track it. They will let you know if you're the highest bidder or if you've been outbid, and you can choose to bid again. We also will have some periodic updates for you, so make sure you're paying attention for that. Now, the bidding on those auction items just started a few minutes ago at 7 o'clock. And do you know what time they end? 8:30. If you knew that, that means you've been watching along to get the information. So 8:30 this evening is when we'll be ending those, and we'll definitely do a live countdown. At the end of the evening, we will announce the winning amount for those auction items. Whew, okay, that's a lot of details. Don't worry. If that's all a little bit dazzling and you're thinking, Rhonda, I just want to watch the show and give you some money. No problem. 4 simple ways. You can text to pay that same number for raffle tickets, and instead of putting a letter of the alphabet, you just text FACE. That's right, FACE, and you can just text to donate. You can do that right now. Or you can go online to facefresno.org, to the website, and click the donate button. Or you can call the office right now and talk to our friendly folks there. Or you can just sit back and relax, and you can do these items tomorrow online. You can come to our office with check or cash. No problem. The most important part of our evening really is hearing about the work of FACE and our stories of hope. So with that, I'm going to take it back to Lauren.
Thank you, Rhonda, for that update, and everybody that's working behind the scenes on our virtual raffle and live auction. And thank you, too, for all those that donated handcrafted items and certificates. Tonight, we call this a celebration of hope because we want to uplift your spirit. If you're like me, we hear so many stories across the world of tragedies and crises and negative news stories. And even in our own city, we know about a lot of them 24/7. But tonight, we don't want to focus what's wrong with Fresno. We want to focus on what's happening well and some stories that will be positive and uplifting. Yes, we recognize that there are many challenges and difficulties facing our city and our neighborhoods. It's no secret that Fresno is the #2 nation with concentrated poverty. And with poverty comes all sorts of negative things associated with it. And we know some of those things. In fact, just last week, a few people that we're working with were released early from the jail because of COVID-19. And they came to us seeking resources. And so we're working with them to try to help them become integrated. Last week, I also ran into a couple people on our campus that were struggling with mental illness and needing housing. And so we tried to direct them to resources available. And then a few people came by and asked to apply for jobs, which at this point we don't have, but we're certainly going to try to resource them. Those are the kinds of experiences and reasons why we started FACE. In fact, it was 15 years ago, as one of the pastors of North Fresno Church, we adopted an apartment complex just south of the church. This was a highly dense, low-income apartment complex with many, many kids and people living there, 1,200 people. And we started a reading and a sports club. And through our presence at this apartment complex, we were able to make connections with a number of families. And what we discovered through our relationships is that many people were struggling with just the basic necessities of life. And so often we would listen, we would pray, and we would even offer food, clothing, a piece of furniture, and we would try to even help them with PG&E bills. But we want to go beyond just helping with emergency relief. We wanted to take a non-charity approach and look at the deeper factors of what was causing so much poverty. And that's what led us to start FACE. And so our approach is three ways of trying to help people overcome poverty. We have three values that shape everything we do. It's care, resource, and develop. These are the values that guide us, and this is what we think about when we work with people. It starts with caring, and care is something that is found, probably the best story ever was the Good Samaritan in Luke chapter 10. In that story, Jesus gives us some practical tips of how to care for people. And he shows us that caring involves loving our neighbor emotionally, socially, spiritually, and physically. And that's a significant model for all of us today when it comes to reaching out and relating with our neighbors. But Lauren, how does that translate from the Bible 2,000 years ago to modern society today? I'm glad you asked. In fact, our first story of hope is somebody who literally came from the streets of Fresno and is now working for us on FACE staff part-time as our administrative assistant. I'd like to welcome Genevieve Ochoa to the broadcast. Why don't we start off, Jen? You are a staff worker for us now, but tell us what it was like a couple years ago when we first met you. What was your condition, and what were some of the obstacles you were struggling with at the time that we met you through FACE?
Oh, I was struggling with sobriety, coming off of methamphetamine addiction. I had just found out I was pregnant and basically living out of my broke down car with my fiance, and didn't have my two older children anymore. They were living with a relative, with my sister, and getting ready to go back to their dad. And was in really bad condition, homeless, fighting with sobriety, and trying to get my children back.
You certainly were in a tough place, Jen, and almost at times feeling hopeless, being homeless, pregnant, struggling with sobriety. What were some practical ways that FACE demonstrated some care and providing resources for you at the time that were helpful?
The first time I ever got connected with FACE was through prayer. They came and asked to pray for me, pray with me, and broke some strongholds. And at that point, opened up my mind to be able to want to be clean, to want to be sober, to want to continue on a good path, and being there to listen. Like, I would come in and volunteer, and I would talk to the ladies in the office, Kelly and Marley, and sometimes it'd just be random conversation because I needed to talk to somebody or to use the computers. And eventually I got so comfortable that I started to volunteer with cooking and helping with maybe some sanitation around, just to keep myself busy, not to let my mind be idle. And that was instrumental in my sobriety and the clarity of mind that I needed to help me get back to where I was normal in my mind. That was an obstacle.
Yes, and I think from listening to you, having caring people was instrumental. Of course, prayer and then a place for you to go to was significant. And then, of course, you started volunteering right away. You wanted to give back and start contributing, Jen. That's just who you are. And we
Right.
noticed a lot of gifts and talents that you had. So down the road, it didn't take us long to where we thought you'd be a great staff worker. So we hired you last November. What do you think about the perspective now on being on our staff team and seeing things from the inside?
I guess I have a great understanding of it. That empathy that you need to have in a lot of situations. People come in with different needs and have different illnesses or different obstacles that they're dealing with. And being that I've been through quite a bit of them in my own personal life and in my own personal walk into sobriety, out of that darkness and that miry clay, I have a better understanding, and I'm able to listen and not judge. Just be there for somebody the way the staff was there for me, and help me to get to those goals, to where I was functionable again, where I was an asset versus somebody who in my past had lost all my family, and I see a lot of people coming in here very broken, who don't have anybody. And that's how I was. And I love being that story of hope for them, because I can tell them I've walked in those shoes. I've walked that mile with you, and I understand, and there's hope. So
Well,
that's
thank
always
you,
great.
Jen. Thank you, Jen, so much for just being on our team and sharing your gifts and talents. You are an asset. You mentioned that, and we just appreciate the growth that we've seen and the work that you're doing now to give back to our community. So thanks so much for sharing and for joining our team on FACE.
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to more and more years.
Genevieve, like so many others that we come in contact with who are experiencing trauma or brokenness, sometimes just need safe people to talk with and a safe place to go. And that's the first step in loving our neighbor. Genevieve also mentioned prayer, and prayer is critical for this kind of work. And today is National Day of Prayer, and we're always excited that the FACE celebration lands on National Day of Prayer, because we believe that renewal and restoration has to go beyond just human power and human works. And we believe that there's forces that are blocking people from wanting to experience true freedom. And so prayer and having God go before us and partner with us is critical for all we do. Unless the Lord builds the house, we labor in vain. And I want to encourage you to pray for our national, state, and local leaders tonight. There's so many things that are difficult in our world and society, and we need wisdom for our leaders, and we need wisdom for ourselves. I can't tell you how many situations I've been in personally where I just responded with, this situation is so complex and so complicated, I don't know what to do or say. And so we need wisdom and guidance and the support of one another. And pray for all of us that we would have courage to live out like the Good Samaritan, the ability to break down barriers, to get involved in messy situations, and to be people of hope that get involved in our neighborhoods so that our city can prosper. I want to take it back now to Rhonda and find out how we're doing with the raffle and just get some updates.
Hi there,
on
it's
some of the
Rhonda.
things
I'm
happening.
live from the FACE office. And as we told you before, we're raising the bar for ourselves, which means we're having some technological difficulties. I know you want to go to Disneyland. I got that loud and clear. Let me give you the update. If you are bidding on an auction item for Disneyland, what you need to know is you need to text the same number as Mono Lake, which is 559-273 7581. And then you just text there that you're bidding for Mono Lake or that you're bidding for Disneyland. You just tell them which one it is. All right. Thank you for letting us know we're having problems. We've got that solved. So welcome to this place that is a hive of activity. I want to introduce you to a few folks that are here. So first of all, let me introduce you to Shadran. She's our bookkeeper, and she's the one in charge of this live auction and actually the raffle and making everything work nice and smoothly. And then I want to introduce you to Genevieve. She's our office administrator, and she is taking your bids right now, turning them into tickets to be printed. And then our friendly folks who are here answering your questions, here's Tonya. And in the other room over here is Connor and Brianne. Thank you for being available to answer our questions this evening. And now, follow me. Let's go for a walk. This is our computer lab, and as you can see, we have an intern who's getting your bids hot off the presses right now. These papers will be heading to the other room. Come with me. And in here, you can see we have some micro-project interns. Thank you all for wearing your masks and social distancing. They are busy in here. They're getting your raffle tickets that you bought. They're getting turned into papers. They're slicing them in the cutters and putting them in these bags right here. We literally have each item labeled. And yes, oh yes, there are, some of these are pretty full. Tickets in here. I will look forward to later on being able to draw those names and find out who our winners are. Remember, you only can buy raffle tickets until 7:30, which is in only 6 minutes. So you need to quickly breathe, have a conversation with the folks that are with you, and decide about buying some raffle tickets. You can text to bid, you can call into the office, you can do it online on the donate button. So please do that right away. You have now less than 6 minutes to get this completed. We'll be drawing these names at the end of the evening. And then let's not forget about our live items that are up for auction. So we have the lovely cabin up in the mountains near Mono Lake. It's not the cabin, it's a weekend stay, just to clarify. 6 Disneyland passes for a one-day pass. Remember, you're texting the same number as Mono Lake, so specify which thing that you're bidding on. And then the third thing we have is a lovely beach home weekend in Morro Bay. So you're going to want to be paying attention. We're going to have some updates on that coming soon. Next time you see me, this raffle part will be over. You'll be finished. So you need to right now go buy those tickets. And now back to Lauren for more stories of hope. Forgot my paper.
Thanks for clarifying that, Rhonda, and thank you for being patient with the phone numbers. Same number for the Mono Lake cabin and Disneyland. We got that. Earlier, Genevieve shared about her turbulent life and how to overcome obstacles. And what happens when someone doesn't have a lot of good options or places to turn? Oftentimes people revert to negative behavior or get lured into illegal things and sometimes being incarcerated. Did you know that it costs $75,000, according to the LA Times, to incarcerate one person in state prison in California? At least that's from the article I read a few years ago. It might even be higher now. There's an enormous cost to the taxpayer economically and financially when people are incarcerated. And it also has a huge impact, not just economically, but emotionally and socially on families. When we remove moms and dads from the home, the impact is felt not just on children, but the entire family system. And so one of the things that we're working on is to try to prevent people from being incarcerated in the first place, but also offering aftercare support for those who want to make a new beginning and start life over. Our next guest is a person who faced a big obstacle of being incarcerated. And I want to introduce to you now our next guest, David Bertolato. Well, David, we've known you for a number of years now. I'm trying to think back when we first met around 2012, 2013, and we were just getting ready to launch FACE. But can you tell us a few of the obstacles you were struggling with at the time when you were trying to rebuild your life?
Yeah, so back in 2008, when I had to restart from scratch, it was real difficult trying to find work. having a background and being a little bit older, it was real difficult to even get a foot in the door, and finding housing and trying to just support myself. That was the biggest obstacle, was finding employment. I had family support, but being on my own, it was real difficult getting back into society.
So one of the big issues was employment, and how did FACE resource you and provide an opportunity for you to move forward in life?
So when I first got with FACE, they gave me an opportunity. I had landscaping, and so they provided some material, equipment, and so I was able to do a little bit of yard work here and there, kind of making to make ends meet, and that kind of took off. So they provided equipment. They also provided mentorship, and with some of the other guys from FACE, and learning how to pick up job skills. So I was provided with opportunities to learn new trades, just some skills, and how to do job interviews. And then there was opportunities down the road where there was some work that was available. So I was able to pick up some work here and there, which led to other opportunities down the road.
Yeah, so you were one of the first persons on our rock pile yard service crew, and then you also began to pick up other side jobs. And now you're doing some different types of work. Tell us what you're doing now, David, and what's your hope for the future in terms of helping others?
So right now I've been employed with the Home Depot for the last 3 years. The last 2 years was full-time. And so that was a huge step, getting full-time employment from working part-time work. And so, but before I got on with Home Depot, I started dabbling in car detailing. So I actually started a small business of auto detailing. And so I continue to do that as a second source of income, but I am working gainfully. And so my goal is to take whatever I've learned from FACE and through the last few years of the steps of starting a small business and all the skills I learned, and to empower the new people that come through the FACE, those who are looking and those who are struggling, to teach them the job skills that they can learn, how to resource, how to adapt with society, especially the way it is now. You need to create your work, and how to listen to the mentors, and mainly how to trust in God when seeking work. And that was the big thing for me, was just really listening to him and the wisdom that he gave me. So, and in turn, I will now try, my goal is to teach them how to whether start their own business or just create work so where they can build and grow with that.
Well, thanks, David, for your desire to give back to the community. And we love your perseverance and diligence. And I know I've already referred a couple of people to your car detailing business, and I think that's going to be a great opportunity down the road. So thanks for joining us tonight, David, and we appreciate you and all the work you're doing.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad that I can able to get out this and share God's word and his doings.
Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Rockpile Yard Service, one of our social enterprises, was birthed 6 years ago because of working with people like David, who are looking for another chance and an opportunity to be productive. Our social enterprises offer the opportunity for people to work and receive a paycheck and have the dignity and the opportunity to become self-sufficient. Many of those that are formerly incarcerated, or those that are just underemployed, or sometimes just need their foot in the door, are seeking the opportunity to work. And since 2014, we've been able to help over 22 people move on from part-time work to full-time jobs, and some have moved on to start their own businesses. In fact, 2 of our former employees in this last year have moved on and started their own landscaping business. And we're excited for them and the growth and the opportunities they're creating for other people as well. Our current supervisor now of Rockpile Yard Services is Phil Harmon. And if you're interested in having the guys do some yard work or remove debris or look at your irrigation or pruning, please call the office at 431-FACE, and he'd be happy to respond to you. Some of the young men that work for Rockpile, we are also teaching them not just about work skills, but about life skills. And that's why we started March to Manhood several years ago, to give young men the opportunity to grow, to make social connections with caring adults, and to set goals in their life. A study was done several years ago by the American Institute of Values, and they looked at what are the key factors that prevent youth from heading to a life of juvenile delinquency and ending up dropping out of high school. And two of the factors stood out. One was being able to have caring adults in their lives, and then also a moral and spiritual framework for guidance and values that can be passed on to the next generation. I know for me, when I was in high school, I struggled with work skills, and I often need to be reprimanded for not showing up to work on time. And there's other things that we need a team of people to help support us and keep us accountable. And we need the opportunity to be able to have other people in our life cheering for us, encouraging us, and helping us move forward in life. But what do you do if you don't have those social connections? So much is about who you know, not what you know. Our next two individuals were part of March to Manhood, and they've gone on to become community leaders in our neighborhood. And before I introduce them, though, I want to go back to Rhonda to get an update on the raffle and see what's happening over there. Rhonda?
All right. Thank you, Lauren. So things are hopping here. It's a bit of a frenzy. Coming off of the printer are your raffle tickets that you went online and bought. We're taking those, cutting them, and putting them into the bags that you saw earlier. So I want to remind you that has ended now. It is past 7:30. And at the end of the program, I will be polling the raffles and you'll get to hear the winner for those. So let's get an update on the live auction, shall we? All right. So hot off the presses, the top bid right now for a weekend at the mountain cabin near Mono Lake is $550. The top bid for the 6 tickets for one-day hopper passes at Disneyland is $800. And the top bid right now for a weekend at the beach house in Morro Bay is $625. So you want to keep on bidding. Time is going. You have just a little less than an hour to get your bids in. All right, Lauren, back to you.
Thank you, Rhonda, for that update. Those are 3 amazing destinations. And I hope that we continue to get some action on those places. And once this emergency shut-in is lifted, those will be fantastic places to go. I want to introduce to you our next guest, Jamel Thompson. He's a person who facilitates our young men's basketball program that happens 3 nights a week in our gymnasium that we rent from North Fresno Church. And we have young men from the neighborhood come every week for recreation and exercise, although that program itself right now is on hold. Jamel has also been a part of FACE for several years, and now he's on staff with us facilitating that basketball program. Let's welcome Jamel Thompson. Jamel, you're on staff now with FACE, but a number of years ago, when we first met you, you were facing a few obstacles in your life. Can you tell us about what a couple of those obstacles were?
Yeah, man. I mean, so I was unemployed at the time. I didn't have my education, and so I needed that. And so, I kind of went to FACE and said, hey, I need, help with getting my education, GED and all that stuff. And so you guys helped me with that. And, helped me with all the resources and everything with that. And so that was actually just great,
Let's talk about your GED, Jamel. We connected you with a couple people that helped teach and help you move forward. And then this last year, you obtained your GED, right?
Yeah, man. So the people that helped me were Tamara and Kevin Friesen and Tamara Fritzley. And so, with that help, I was able to, like you said, get my GED and have a door open for me. So that was good.
How do you feel having that now, Jamel, after working so hard year after year on that?
Great, man. I mean, I have it and I have it. So I mean, it's amazing feeling.
Tell us about what you like about your job working with FACE. You're our coordinator of our young men's basketball program that takes place several nights during the week at the gym. What do you like about that, Jamel, and why do you think it's a good program?
Oh man. Okay. So I just like the people there, just helping them out, getting them settled in and everything, and then just being a service to them to help them, with just providing this program for them, just setting up the chairs, just getting the water, just talking to some of the guys as they come in, and yeah, just being just a service and a help to them, and just providing my service to with the guys that come in, pretty much.
We appreciate, Jamel, your hospitality and working with all the guys that come in and play. Recreation is an important aspect of what we do. And we're glad you're on our team, Jamel. Thanks for serving. And we look forward to opening up the gym as soon as this shut-in is lifted.
Yeah, man, that'd be great.
Thanks for joining our broadcast, Jamel.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We're proud of Jamel and for his perseverance and not giving up and getting that GED. And he did it because he had some dedicated tutors. As he mentioned, Kevin Friesen and Tamara Fritchell Olson were significant in investing their time to help him get over that hump. And so often we just need people rooting for us and cheering for us, whatever our challenges are that we're facing and goals that we want to achieve. Our next guest happens to be a person who's attending Hoover High School. He's a junior there, and he's the star quarterback. He's entering his senior season, and there's a lot of people that cheer for him on the field, but we're cheering for him off the field. His name is Xavier Brumfield, and I'd like to welcome him to the broadcast. So Xavier, you're a junior at Hoover High School. Tell us how you've been holding up right now through this shut-in, and has it been difficult not being able to go to school and play football?
I've been doing good. I feel like it's good timing, like not in a good way, but I don't know. My mom, she just had a baby, so we are actually helping her a lot. So it's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing, but I'm doing good.
Okay, so you're doing some more family time. That's great to hear. Congratulations on your little sister too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your experience with FACE. Xavier, we've worked with you for a number of years now, since you were in third, fourth grade. I can't exactly remember, but what were some of the programs you were a part of with FACE?
I was a part of tutoring club, summer adventure club, VBS. I don't know if you would call it FACE, but I was a part of those.
Yeah, I remember you picking you up for a couple rides when you were living in the neighborhood, and now you've gone on and you hit age 16, and you are looking for some work.
17. Oh, yeah.
Now.
Oh, yes.
But a year ago at 16, you were ready to work, and so we gave you your first job on payroll. Tell us about some of the work you're doing right now with FACE.
So with FACE, some of the work I'm doing is moving on up. I have did jobs with Rockpile. And right now, currently, I am working with the library, like checking out books to kids and stuff like that.
Great. So you're juggling a couple different side jobs. What are you going to do with the money you're saving right now, X, as you think about the future?
Mainly save it up, save it for a car, and next year, most likely, I'm gonna save it for prom.
Senior prom. Well, I hope that works out. What are a couple of future goals you have as you prepare for your senior season?
My senior season goals, my goals are mainly to get above 3.5 again, do good in football, and make some new friends and get ready for whatever's next.
Excellent. So it sounds like you're planning on going to college, Xavier, and hopefully have a good senior year and prepare for the next stage of your life, right?
Yes.
Xavier, you've been a part of a number of programs growing up, the tutoring, after-school tutoring and sports club, summer adventure club, some other things that have happened in the neighborhood. What about some of those experiences were most meaningful for you?
One I know that comes to mind is, I forgot who taught us, but he taught us to play chess. It was during a summer adventure club. He taught us how to play chess, and that's something I still know how to do. I don't know why, but yeah, it's really meaningful to me. I know how to play chess. I can play with the other people around school and stuff like that. Another memory would be just coming here on, I believe, Wednesdays. Coming here on Wednesdays during tutoring club when I was like fourth, fifth, sixth grade. It helped me catch up on work and stuff like that. So yeah.
And have those experiences helped you now that you're in a role of a staff position, working with the after school club and summer adventure club? How has that changed your perspective being one of the workers now?
It changed by doing stuff on time, you can say, like not waiting till the last minute to do stuff. And whenever something is asked, you do it right when it's asked, not when you want. So yeah.
Great. And what do you like the most about working in one of our social enterprises? What's been fulfilling for you to have a job there?
Learning new things, really. Just recently, I learned how to hook up a mobile home to the face truck. So learning new things and having that experience.
Great. Thanks, Xavier. Thanks for being on our broadcast tonight.
You're welcome.
Jamel and Xavier represent two people that live in the neighborhood and now they're giving back, contributing, and leading. We want to talk about what we're doing now with COVID-19. We are still resourcing people, and I've shared some stories about that, how that happens on a regular basis. We're also continuing our work with Rockpile Yard Services. And then as Xavier mentioned, we've modified our tutoring club to where we're working Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3, and we're allowing families to make appointments and come to the gym and recreate and then check out reading books, library books, and then bring them back on a weekly basis. Xavier's overseeing the recreation part of it, and our Micah interns are overseeing the library part of it. So if you know of an under-resourced family that doesn't have access to a gym or a backyard or a park, call our office and let us know so that we can connect somebody to this program that we're doing every week now through this period. We believe reading and recreation are essential activities, especially during this time where people need to continue to grow and develop. I want to turn it back now to Rhonda and see how things are going over there at headquarters and what kind of action are we getting over there, Rhonda?
Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, lest you think that every time you see me, all I do is talk about raffles or auctions or donating money, I have a little bit of a creative story to tell you. I do realize that some of you are greatly disappointed because every year you look forward to your favorite dessert coming on to be part of the silent auction. You look forward to the favorite person you know who makes something, you anticipate it. Some of you have some pretty intense bidding wars against each other because you want that pie or that cake, or you know who made those cookies. So I had someone reach out to me and say, wow, I'm really disappointed. They were looking forward to someone's particular dessert. And I said to them, well, you could decide to get creative and you could decide to contact that person, see if they're still willing to make that dessert. And they would give it to you. And then you could make a donation to FACE. It's a win-win-win. So I just kind of left it at that and went about my way. And then last night I got a text message from the person who was baking the dessert saying they're waiting for it to get out of the oven. They're going to deliver it to this person's house fresh. And then that person was going to make a donation to FACE. So if you're finding yourself kind of sad about that, you might want to try to be creative and come up with something like that. I think one thing that's important to think about is in the midst of times that are challenging, whether it's COVID-19 or some of the other challenges that we hear that people face, learning to be creative in the midst of challenges is what really helps us to thrive. So I was really encouraged by that story and wanted to share that with you. Yes, the live auction is still going on. Of course, I have to toss that in. And you can see the updated bid numbers on the bottom of your screen, and you have some time to continue bidding. But for now, I want to pass it back to Lauren so we can hear some more stories of hope. Back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Rhonda, and thanks for sharing that story. That's encouraging. Before I introduce the next couple of guests, I want to take this opportunity to thank our partners and all those who have supported us over the last 8 years. Since we launched FACE in 2013, some of you provided seed money for us and helped us fulfill this vision and start the process. Some of you gave lawn equipment. Some of you gave a truck that we're still using for our rock pile guys. Others of you have given your time and have served in one of our weekly programs like Learning Quest Tutoring Club or Summer Adventure Club. In so many ways, people have gotten behind us and supported us, and it wouldn't be possible without your partnership. And I also want to thank everybody who's contributed tonight through raffle items and various things that were created. And I want to mention that even if you don't win one of the raffles tonight or the live auction, I hope you know that we're all winners. And if you're really extremely disappointed by something, just call our office. There'll be people there that can process things with you, your feelings. But just remember, I have staff and family in there, so be gentle with your concerns. As a faith-based community benefit organization, we depend on others for our existence. Our social enterprises do generate revenue to employ and offer paychecks for our workers, but that doesn't cover our office staff as well as the other programs like Summer Adventure Club, Micah Project, and Learning Quest Tutoring Club. And so that's why we continue to have this fundraiser every year. Back in 2013, our first budget was $30,000, and we thought that was a lot. This year in 2020, it's $230,000. And for that to happen, we need new partners and people that believe in our vision, that will be willing to support us at maybe any level that you have the capacity for. Some support us $10 a month, some support us $100 a month, others are in between. And so we want to encourage you to think about supporting our work, whether it's a one-time gift or coming on to a regular basis, because we work year-round. We recognize these are tough economic times for everybody. And if you're not able to give, we also want to encourage you to serve and volunteer and definitely pray for us. As I mentioned, we feel like we need a lot of wisdom, a lot of strength, and a lot of patience in this kind of work. So now I want to introduce our next guest. She found herself on the streets until a caring individual reached out to her and built a friendship. And now she's working in one of our social enterprises. Let's welcome April Imboden. So April, let's start off with asking about your state and condition and what were some of the obstacles that you were struggling with when we first met you a few years ago with FACE.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the main one was homelessness and low self-esteem and not being able to be around people because of that homelessness.
So you were struggling with homelessness, and that also connected you with a bit of social isolation and some self-esteem issues. What were some ways that the faith community and FACE helped you during that time?
Well, they gave me little jobs around the kitchen and, around the church. So I was able to acclimate back into being around people that weren't homeless and learning to, just do a job.
So volunteering and serving was really helpful for you, April, and just having the opportunity to get to know people through a chance to serve and be a part of the community, right?
Yes. My support network was really important because I didn't have one at that time.
So after you were volunteering and serving, we just saw a lot of gifts in you and thought you'd make a great employee at the thrift shop that we are getting ready to launch 2 years ago. Tell us what it's like for you personally to have a job and to be able to work for the thrift shop that's been almost 2 years now.
Well, I remember that day going in and doing mock interviews with Kelly and doing the resume and just filling out the application. But ever since then, it's been just one joyous ride.
What have you enjoyed the most about working at the thrift shop, April?
The people. I think the volunteers too. I mean, I go in there and I complain a lot. So, they're in there to lift my spirits every day. Even though it's a fake complaint sometimes, they know me. And my customers really appreciate me and I appreciate them.
Well, we appreciate you, April, and thanks so much for representing Face at the Thrift Shop. And thank you for being who you are. And thanks for coming on our broadcast tonight.
Well, thank you. I just appreciate all the skills that you gave me.
April called me a couple weeks ago and she said, Lauren, I have a person I'm working with that needs a bed. We've helped her get off the streets and she found an apartment. Do you have some furniture? And so we were able to resource her with our storage and help this single lady obtain a couch and a bed. That's the kind of person April is, and she has a lot of energy and she has a caring spirit. We're grateful that she was able to share some of her heart with us tonight. Our next guest happens to be April's supervisor who oversees her at the thrift shop. Thrift on Blackstone is a partnership between FACE and West Coast Mennonite Central Committee. They're a relief organization that does similar work around the world like FACE is doing. And so I want to introduce to you Aloni Kosdorf. Aloni, we are approaching 2 years since Thrift on Blackstone first opened in June. And of course, it's even longer when you think about our partnership when we were planning and preparing. How would you describe what the partnership has been like in terms of how things have gone for the last several years between West Coast Mennonite Central Committee and FACE?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, through West Coast MCC, we're a part of a thrift shop network of about 110 shops in the US and Canada. And that support has been very helpful to us, especially in the beginning while we were writing our policies and procedures for the shop. To be in partnership with FACE, we've received more local and physical support. A lot of our initial donations came from FACE constituents. Construction and remodeling happened with FACE workers. We have been receiving continuous support from FACE staff throughout these last 2 years. And also a lot of our volunteers have been through FACE recruitments. And of course, our 2 employees were recommended to us by FACE.
Yes, let's talk about the great team of volunteers you have. And then, of course, we interviewed April, one of the employees that we referred to you. How have you been encouraged by these volunteers and workers that have been serving at the thrift shop?
Yeah. I moved back to the US from Brazil, where I'm originally from, for this job. And I must say that my volunteers and staff at Thrift on Blackstone have become part of my family. They've become my family. And that's been especially visible now during this shelter-in-place time. They're the ones that have been calling me, checking up on me, caring for me during this time. And I think it speaks volumes to the environment that we have created at the store. And our hope is that people, when they come to our store, will feel valued. And I believe that we have achieved that because it starts with us, with how we interact with each other. And if we can care for each other in our daily operations, then we will automatically pass that type of feeling on to customers that come through our doors.
Well said, Aloni, and I appreciate that whole concept and metaphor of being an alternative family. That's part of what we do. Can you just real quickly tell us when you think the thrift shop will open at this point and from what you're anticipating?
Yeah, I'm working closely with our network, with our MCC network. I'm also keeping a close eye on the news. We will reopen as soon as the shelter-in-place orders are lifted. At least we're gearing up towards that. We will be changing or are in the process of changing some of our policies and procedures to make sure that our staff, volunteers, and customers are safe as we reopen the store.
Wonderful. Well, Aloni, thank you for all your leadership and for your sacrifice. We appreciate the partnership and all you're doing for our community. Thanks for joining our broadcast tonight.
Thank you.
If you haven't had the opportunity to visit our thrift shop, I encourage you to visit when it opens. It's located south of Herndon on Blackstone on the west side of the street, north of the Hobby Lobby. There's a Leslie's Pool and an AT&T store on each side. And we encourage you to donate gently used goods. And if the thrift shop cannot receive an item, then call the Face office because we might be able to direct that item to a family in need. We do that often. I want to turn it back now to Rhonda and get an update on what's happening at the office there. Rhonda, I'm back now, and well, you might be muted right now, so should we go back to you?
Oh, I'm on. Sorry about that. Another technology challenge. All right. So yes, we're excited. Things are coming along well here. We have just about finished printing out all of your raffle tickets that you purchased, folding them and putting them into bags. And so those are going to be all ready to go when we do our raffle drawing at the end of this program. Just want to give you a really quick update on where we are with our bids with our live auction. So right now for the mountain cabin that's near Mono Lake, the current bid is $685. For the 6 Disneyland one-day tickets, the high bid right now is $900. And for the Beach House in Morro Bay, that weekend right now is $800. So you just have a little over 30 minutes to finish those bids. But meanwhile, we have many more stories for you. So let me send this back to Lauren.
Well, our last segment tonight is about developing people. We talked about caring and resourcing, and now I want to take a couple minutes before I introduce our next guests of people that we are developing into leadership roles who are investing back in our neighborhood and taking on leadership positions. Leadership is so important when it comes to any organization, and especially with community benefit organizations. And I want to thank the board who represents us, who gives their time and energy to the work that we do voluntarily. We have a number of gifted and qualified people. Joanne Fast is our chair, and she has an education background. Russ Koop is our vice chair, and he is a psychologist, school psychologist with Fresno Unified. Sam Nofziger is an educational consultant and also has his own private business. Sandra Poole has bookkeeping experience, and she's our secretary. Sam's the treasurer. And then our latest addition to our board is Anthony Robinson, who 15 years ago was a middle schooler down the street in the apartment complex that I talked about earlier. He was a part of our sports club. And I've invited Anthony to be a guest tonight on the broadcast. And so I want to welcome Anthony tonight. Anthony, tell us about some of the programs and activities that you are involved with growing up in the neighborhood that the church and faith sponsored.
I attended the reading club, the sportsman Monday night basketball. I attended the Wednesday night youth group for teenagers, and I also participated in a lot of the camps that were provided.
You were a person, Anthony, that got really involved, and I know personally that you witnessed a lot of destructive things happening around you at the apartment complex that you were living at when you were growing up. There was a lot of crime there. What would you say to a young person now about how to avoid some of the traps and getting involved in some negative behavior?
I would say to the young teenagers, look at something that's positive, whether it's going to school, getting good grades, hanging out with positive friends, whether it's going to sports events like basketball games or football games. You can attend reading clubs. You can attend in high schools. There's cadets. There's a cadet program in high school. It's all sorts of things. It just depends on what interests you and pursue that.
So take a look at what's happening and find out what your interests are, and find some positive role models and productive things to do is what I'm hearing you're saying.
Yes, exactly. Whether it's friends that you're close with and their family members, whether it's a mom or a dad or an uncle or a close friend, your closest friend's relative. It could be one of those things. I found out with you, Lauren. I found out with Todd. I found out with Adam. So, and I mean, it's a great thing.
Well, you made a lot of great choices, Anthony, and now recently you've decided to join our board. And besides me pressuring you, Anthony, what else is a reason why you want to serve on our board with Face Now?
I wanted to serve on the board because I know what it's like for young teenagers or even young adults. I went through it. So I know what steps and steps to take to help them succeed in whatever they want to pursue in.
Well, thanks for joining our team. We look forward to having you lead us and helping us as we try to make a difference in this neighborhood. And as a person who's working full time, who's married and owns a house, thank you, Anthony, for the role model you are to our community.
All right, thank you.
Anthony, like Jamel and Xavier, attended Hoover High School, which is right around the corner from where our offices are. And that's what we mean when we talk about developing leaders. And thank you to all of you who are investing in our youth and the next generation of people that will come in staff and board positions. With that, I'd like to introduce our staff team, the dedicated group that we have, even though they're all part-time, including myself, work tirelessly, especially during a time like this. Our lead administrator is Rhonda Duick. She's our MICA project director and overseeing the raffle and live auction tonight. Shadron Smith is our bookkeeper and joined our team in February. If you have any questions about donations or giving, you talk to her. Genevieve Ochoa is our administrative assistant and shared some of her story tonight. Mel Thompson is our basketball facilitator, and Phil Harmon is our rock pile supervisor. Our office administrator is a former MICA intern and has worked with FACE for over 4 years now. And I asked Kelly Kucharski to share a little bit about how she's grown since she's been a part of our organization. I want to welcome Kelly Kucharski. Kelly, you've been a part of FACE now for 4 years, and you've played a lot of different roles and worn a lot of different hats. Tell us about some of the positions and responsibilities you've had the last 4 years.
Yeah, Lauren, it's been great. I really love working at FACE. And I started off as a summer adventure club intern in 2016. Then I moved to being like an office assistant and then office administrator. And then kind of into program development and support. And then into HR role, which was much needed, and doing HR for moving on up and Rockpile and helping develop those small businesses. And then lately, now with our new staff, because we've had so many transitions, I'm doing a lot of training and training people kind of like on the work culture we've kind of built with the first people that worked there, you know, as long as 4 years ago. Feels like it was yesterday, but 4 years is a long time, and we're really growing still, and it's been great.
Yes, there's been a lot of different ways you've served, Kelly, and I know we all have to do different types of things, but you're an excellent multitasker. Let's talk about your experience when you first learned about urban ministry and community development and how that's evolved for you now that you've been working with FACE for 4 years. How would you say you've grown in your understanding of asset-based community development?
Yes. Well, I would say when I first heard about it, it was a lot more of a romantic idea. I thought we have people in these neighborhoods that are, you know, considered concentrated poverty, and they're actually assets. There are tons of assets there. There are assets in the people. And I think that working in this field for a while, I've kind of realized how much of a paradigm shift it actually is to, in the midst of a bunch of need and I guess you could say under-resourced, that there actually are assets there. And choosing to, I guess, make the commitment. I think a lot of times we're so conditioned to like invest in things that provide for us, that fill our need, that, we buy a product that's finished and ready to go, to instead kind of turn the table on that and say, these people are worth it and they're actually assets in this community and they can help themselves, and really being a part of that. And I also learned that the emotional social aspect is really critical to that, and sort of filling the role of an alternative family. Most people, asset-based community development really requires being part of the solution towards that, as like a plant can't grow in a poor environment. So being part of that environment where their assets can come out and people can thrive. So yeah, those were things I didn't really realize when I first signed up, but I've seen how successful we can be by being that alternative family and investing in the social and emotional that people don't usually have modeled for them. And when we do that, we see a lot of change, a lot of impact. So those are the main things, I think.
Yeah, it's a way of seeing people through what they have to offer rather than their deficits. And you're definitely a person that's done that. You've helped empower people and you're doing it week after week. So thank you, Kelly, for playing such a key role on our team and helping empower and develop people to move on to impact our neighborhood.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. That's great.
Take care. Kelly was instrumental in making this virtual event happen, and she's our studio director tonight. And I want to thank Kelly personally for all that she's done behind the scenes, especially on some of the technical things that we have never done before. Everett O'Keefe from Ignite Press was our production manager, and he introduced us to some new technology that made this event possible. Thank you so much, Everett, for all the time and work you've given. Mike Clausen, a former MICA intern, is our graphic design person, and he was our communication specialist. Mike spent many nights with chats and phone calls trying to troubleshoot all sorts of things. Mike, you represented the state of Kansas well. We miss you. And there were a host of other volunteers and people that were instrumental in bringing this event together, and I want to thank them. God is on the move in Fresno, and he's bringing people, neighborhoods, and organizations together to bring hope and renewal to our city. And I hope you'll take time to consider what your role is, wherever you work and wherever your neighborhood is. We need everybody, all hands on deck, for us to turn the tide in our city. With that, I want to turn it back to Rhonda and see if we're going to wrap things up over there at headquarters.
All right. Thank you so much. I hope that you have enjoyed this evening where you've been able to hear some amazing stories. It's really inspirational. So I find this even emotional, even being on this side of the camera, just being able to hear the stories and remember how people have walked in the door. The way that when you spend time listening to someone, you hear their story, and you can celebrate who they are, help them believe how uniquely they are created, and help them find the way that they can make a difference in their life and in others. When we can care, resource, and develop, we can make a difference and we can change this world. So thank you for partnering. Okay, I want to give you a little update right now on the live auction, which is just 20 minutes away from being completed. So right now, the weekend at the Mountain Cabin up in Mono Lake is at $700 for the top bid right now. So you've got 20 more minutes to top that bid. If you're looking at the 6 Disneyland one-day hopper tickets, remember those don't expire until October of 2021. That top bid now is at $1,100, $1,100. And if you're someone who's bidding on the weekend away at the beach house in Morro Bay, that top bid right now is at $1,000. I'm going to update you right now, hot off the presses. I have someone who right here is giving me the updates. The Mountain Cabin has just been raised to $710. So keep on bidding. But now, that time, what you're waiting for, is we're going to start the raffle drawing. So they're all completed. All of the raffle tickets that you have text to purchase, gone online to donate, called in, all of those are in the bags right now and they are ready to go. I'm again going to ask for some grace on pronouncing names. I may or may not pronounce your name correctly. So that's okay. You're still going to be a winner. I will still text or email you this evening. Just a reminder that you can start tomorrow morning picking up these items from 9 to 12. We'll have some folks here wearing masks, having gloves. We will carry items out to your car for you. So just pull in the driveway. If you've ever been here when the preschool is picking up their kids, kind of like that, just come into the driveway. If we're not out right away, feel free to honk. We'll come out, find out your name if we don't know who you are, and then bring you the items that you won. If you won a certificate, so for instance, if when we're doing a drawing, you won like Alvina's cherry pie, then I can either email that certificate for you, or you can still come by and pick it up, or we can mail it. So all of those things can be taken care of. Okay, I understand that I need to get on with it because you kind of are curious. All right, so here we go. Starting off, we've got bag A. This is what they all look like. They're all labeled. And I've got a lovely team here who's bringing them to me. I will not be looking at these. So I'm just putting in and I'm figuring out which ticket is sticking out. All right. So this is for item A, which is the We Are Truly Blessed picture. And the winner is Kimberly Tabor. Kimberly Tabor, you've won that. All right. The second item up is item B, which is that really cool fire extinguisher lamp. Maybe you saw that. Ron Fast made that. Okay, I got to work my way through those tickets. Okay, and the winner for that is Lauren Helm. Lauren Helm won the fire extinguisher lamp. All right, moving on to C, which is the photo that was taken by Betty Jean Franz. That's the one that is taken at Height Cove, just outside of Yosemite. Okay, this is a very full bag, in case you're wondering. Let's see if I can find the ticket, all right? And this ticket is Howard Poston. Howard Poston, you are the winner of that lovely photo, which is in a gorgeous frame. I have been oodling over that for a long time. All right, now we're looking at item D, which is the Cascade Creek photograph that was also taken by Betty Jean Franz, a popular artist here at our church who does some amazing photography. All right, and the winner of that one is Peter Smith. Peter Smith, you have won the Cascade Creek of Yosemite. And that talent runs in that family. And so Betty Jean's husband, John, he is the one who took the photo of the picture of the tree over the Grand Canyon. So we're looking at item E now. Item E. All right. And the winner for that is Sean Keller. Sean Keller, congratulations. You won that lovely photo. All right. Now we're moving on to a very popular item as well, which is Bertolotto's Mobile Auto Detailing, item F. For those of you who are following along right now, item F. I don't know how you keep your cars because this bag is really super full. And I have some great news for you. Some of these items are one of a kind, which means if you don't win it tonight, I'm sorry. That's all there is. That's the only one that's ever been made like that. However, that's with this one. You can contact Dave Bertolotto. You saw him in the video earlier. You can call him to your home and clean your vehicle. By the feeling of how many tickets in this bag, it sounds like a lot of us need that. And during COVID, I don't know why, because we're not going anywhere really, but evidently we need that. So all that to say, pulling the ticket. The winner for that, Vicki Clausen. Vicki Clausen, congratulations. All right, next we have a wine and snack bag, and that was donated from Pioneer Market up in Mariposa. So we appreciate your support. A couple of bottles of phenomenal wine, I've heard. I promise I haven't opened them unless I win it. And some other snacks in there. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's see who wins this one. And the winner for this is Imelda Ortega. Imelda Ortega is the winner for that. All right, nice. Next is the Grandmother's Flower Garden. And this was donated by Barb Lout. It's the one that has the yellow house in it with a quilt out in the back, which is really super neat. And there's a whole story on that artist. So you could actually Google the name of the artist. It's there. If you look under that lowercase I, information about this item. We're on item H. You can find out a little bit more about that artist. All right. And the winner of that is Sean Keller. Congratulations, Sean. All right. How are we doing? Doing all right? Okay, good. Awesome. Next up, also in the car category is Honesty Automotive. And Honesty Automotive, owned by Javier, who is one of our partners. He's one of our donors who continues to support us. We continue to send people his way. He gives a fair deal. He will always do you right on your vehicle. He's also been a place that we've been able to host our car days, and we've been helping repair and helping people with their cars. So we appreciate you, Javier, and being our partner. And this is for a lube and filter change. All right, let's see who needs that. This goes to Dan McCloskey. Dan McCloskey, you're the winner of that. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to get a little update on the live auction so I can tell you what's kind of going on with there, because that time is starting to tick down. All right, next we're at J, and that is that circular wood sign that He Fills My Cup with Grace. Jane Isaac made that, and we appreciate her donation. And let's see who the winner is of that. The winner of that is Roy Valenzuela. Roy Valenzuela, congratulations. All right, that's a beautiful sign. And next up, a partner sign made by Cindy Weens. It says coffee on it. That one, let's see who gets to win that. Roy Valenzuela. Wow. Okay, you've got 2 new signs, and Mother's Day is coming. So you may have lucked out and done some really good shopping here tonight. So congratulations. That's a great deal. Oh, that's right. I'm giving a live update. I am so sorry. I'm getting all excited about these raffles. All right. Live update here. The weekend at the Mountain Cabin is right now running at $900. The Disney tickets are at $1,400. That's $1,400. And the Beach House is running right now for $1,255, $1,255. And you are down to your last 12 minutes. So you might want to pick up the pace on that. All right, here we go. Moving on to letter L. That's right. Now, this is donated from an organization called Tagua. Tagua is an organization that partners with people around the world and takes our handmade goods and make sure that they are given a fair price. And so that's called a fair trade store. We have one in Fig Garden right now, and yes, it's closed, but we love to partner with them. I love to be able to go shopping there. I love when I can buy a gift for somebody that also is blessing the person who made it. So it's important. That's a value that I have, and so it's important to be able to do that. And so we have a basket, a kitchen cloth, and a pot holder. Thank you, Janice Porter, for that donation. And let's see who the winner is for that. All right. The winner for that is Whitney Douglas. Whitney Douglas, congratulations. All right. Next up is another organization that believes in fair trade and believes it's important the way that they pay someone who's making something. And that is Freedom Textiles. So this, you had a purse, a notebook, and a table runner in some really fun colors. And so Janice Porter, thank you for donating that. Let's see who won that. All right, the winner for that is Heather Clark. Heather Clark, you're the winner for the Freedom Textiles. All right, moving on here. Now, if you've been on Facebook and seen some of the memes that are going on, you've seen that one of our challenges is at the end of COVID-19, where we've sat around a lot, what are we going to do about that weight? I have to say that I live in a neighborhood where people walk a lot, and I find more people walking these days than I have even on the 1st of January. So you might decide, yes, Planet Fitness is the place for you when this is all over. Let's see if you want it. This is letter N. It is a 1-year membership at Planet Fitness. It'd be great if you could take a friend, wouldn't it? Yeah, I probably should join some of you. And the winner for that is Marissa Martinez. Marissa Martinez, congratulations. All right, moving on. We are at letter O, and this is a painting by Kathleen Martins, and it's a still life painting. And let's see who the winner is for that. The winner for that is Jane Serber. Jane Serber. All right, congratulations. That was lovely. And when you have someone who's talented, sometimes they decide to donate 2 items. And so we have another painting by Kathleen called Flowers. They have some really neat birds of paradise flowers in the back, which are have a really unique idea of where they like to be planted. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, let me see if I can see who's going to win this. All right. The winner for this painting is Jennifer Gardner. Jennifer Gardner. All right. How you all doing? Do you need a stretch? You can keep stretching. It's all right. I can't see you, so I'll just keep on going. We are at letter Q. This is a heavy, heavy bag. Yes, paper can be heavy. Why? Because it is a dinner for 6, hosted and cooked by none other than Milt and Benta Friesen, who are lovely hosts and amazing cooks. And let's just say there's a lot to work through in this bag. So let me see who is a winner. I will say this is one of those items that I would have loved to be able to put on an auction because I know a lot of you want to bid on it. Hopefully next year we'll be back in an auction. You can just kind of wrestle it out on that auction paper. But for now, let's see. I'm going to dig down to the bottom. I'm going to mix these all up. And the winner for this dinner is Mark Weens. Mark Weens, you get the lovely dinner. Congratulations. Folks, I want to let you know now that you are down to only 8 minutes left to be able to bid on the live auction. I want to give you a quick update. The mountain cabin is at $1,000. The 6 tickets for Disneyland are at $1,575. And, it's getting changed. I'll update you in a second. And the beach house is at $1,255. So I want to let you know you're kind of in the countdown. Now you need to know, let me just say this right up. I'm not like the world clock. So the official clock keepers are going to be the ones who are texting with you right now. Those lovely, friendly volunteers, we're very grateful for them. They are texting you in case you want to know who those folks are. Danae DeBerkey, Lauren's oldest daughter, and her actually not DeBerkey anymore, and her husband, John Sampson. They are the ones who are hosting and taking care of all of that. And they have some friends who are helping them out. So thank you so much for being available this evening. They're actually in Southern California, but virtually they get to be part of our team. So that update on the Disney tickets right now is $1,650. All right. And you are down to, according to my clock, about 7 minutes. All right. Moving on to R. This is a sign that says joy on it, and it's made from repurposed wood and metal. And thank you, Janice Porter. She made that and donated that. And the winner for that is Lauren Helm. Lauren Helm, you won the joy sign. Congratulations. All right, moving on. Next, we have a lot of talented people that are connected to FACE. This is another one. James Bergen, who is a phenomenal photographer. He took a really interesting picture. I hope you take the time to look at that, even if you don't win it. And it's entitled Jerusalem Door. And it talks about, there's a write-up there, it talks about his trip to Jerusalem. And this is just a picture he took of the doors and some graffiti art that was on it. So thank you, James, for donating that. Let's take a look who won that. The winner for that is Lynn Rayburn. Lynn Rayburn. All right, next up. And along with other talented folks in our partnerships who make a lot of unique things, we've got Mark Weens, who does some amazing work with glass. He makes jewelry. He makes all kind of like bowls and all kind of unique things. You really should get a tour sometime. It's quite fascinating. And so he has donated a couple of things. This is a glass pendant. It's kind of an iridescent color with a tiger print on it. I think it's super cool. And the winner for that is Chuck Blodgett. Chuck Blodgett. Congratulations. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. If you have like somebody who's watching you might want to give it to Mother's Day. I'm sorry if they're also spoiling it, but it's close. A few days away. All right. Moving on to you, which is the glass pendant. This one's black. It has little green flowers in it. Really cute. All right. I didn't even promo the Mother's Day shopping earlier. What was I doing? Okay. Also for Chuck Blodgett. Well, guess who's going to be in your life? All right. Thank you, Chuck. I need a drink of water because I am really thirsty. And then I'm going to give you an update on the live auction. All right. Live auction numbers. Mountain Cabin. $1,000. Disney is at $1,755, and the beach is at $1,400. All right. Next on to V. This is a glass pendant that also comes with earrings, so it's a full set. And let's see who the winner is of this. Roy Valenzuela. All right, congratulations. There you go. And next up is a blue glass candy dish. And how Mark makes these are really unique. There's a short little write-up. He can give you a longer explanation, and we'll be happy to give you his number. This is W in case you're following along. And we are at Mike Clausen. Mike Clausen, who is from Kansas. We will make arrangements to ship that, or you can just come to Fresno and pick that up for a visit. All right, moving on to the green glass candy dish. All right, let's see who's winning this one. Lottie Dick. Lottie Dick. Congratulations. All right, here is another one of our heavy bags. I think we don't really want to cook anymore, don't you think? And so this is 3 homemade meals made by Genevieve, who you met earlier, who works in our office. We love her. She's going to make 3 meals, enough to feed 6 people each, and you even get to choose off the menu. That's phenomenal. This bag is weighing me down. I got to really work through this. Oh, boy. I know you all want this. Let's see what we can find out here. All right. And the winner is Lynn Rayburn. Lynn Rayburn. Congratulations. All right. Moving on to Z. And that's that muffin tray serving. It has like coffee and tea and muffin things. And this really cool teapot and all kind of really fun things over there. And Carla Blodgett, I'm just going to say, she loves to create those things. And so she spends all year gathering a whole bunch of things in a theme and putting it together. I think she has a lot of fun doing that. So we're grateful for that. All right. And the person winning that is Heather Clark. Heather Clark. Congratulations. All right. You are down to your last 3 minutes, but I'm going to keep on working on this. AA, those handcrafted bears. Now, for clarity, I'm going to pull 3 names. It's possible if you put in enough tickets that you might win 1 or 2 or 3 bears. That's possible. Or 3 different people. We have no idea. Let us see what happens here. Remember, these wood bears are hand carved. They're redwood trees from the fire that happened at Calvin Crest. And we actually did a Stories of Hope, that monthly email that we send out on the first. It's called Interface. It's the email we send out on the first of the month. Every month it has a story. And that's one of our stories from a few months ago. Okay, I'm getting excited here. All right. And the winner for the first bear is Mary Sampson. Mary Sampson, you are the winner of the first bear. The second bear winner is Peter Smith. Peter Smith is winning the second bear. And the third hand-carved bear goes to also Peter Smith. He's got his pair. There we go. All right. Congratulations. Moving on, and we are down to our last 2 minutes of bidding. So keep those numbers on the screen so you can be bidding on those final items. If you're one of the ones bidding, hopefully you know where the high bid is right now. All right. This is for the beautiful baby blanket and the sweater that comes with it, and a little kind of cap bonnet that Gisela made. She is just delightful. Gisela Bigby, and she does amazing work. So let's see who won this. This goes to Danetta Turk. Danetta Turk. All right. Congratulations. Then there's a cute striped hat that has fingerless gloves that go with it, also made by Gisela. And the winner of that is Heather Clark. Congratulations, Heather. Gisela also made kind of a blue and green Afghan. It's a really nice size, great colors, a square print. And the winner for that is Danetta Turk. Danetta Turk. All right, folks, you are down to your last minute. We're going to do a little bit of a countdown here, but remember, the actual real clock is happening with the folks who are taking the bids. So just because you'd be really sad if I didn't do a countdown, because you look forward to this every year. It's your favorite part when I'm counting down and I'm pushing you out of the rooms where you're bidding. Remember that? Makes you miss the evening, doesn't it? All right, we're on the 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our live auction is finished. I will give you those amounts, the winning amounts, in just a couple of minutes when I get those. Meanwhile, let's complete our task of doing the raffle drawings. Just a few more to go, folks. You can do this. I believe in you. We are on EE, which is the light blue shawl. You saw a picture of it kind of from the front and the back. And the winner of this is Roy Valenzuela. Roy Valenzuela, congratulations. All right, now a very popular item as well is a homemade cherry pie by Alvina Lowen. She hasn't baked it yet. you'll get a certificate. And sometime between now and Christmas, you can call her up. We'll give you her number and you can have her make that pie for you whenever you're having a special event, or maybe you just want to eat it by yourself. That's probably what I would do. Well, maybe I'd share it with my family. Anyway, here we go. Very popular item with Alvina Lowen. This is one of those that everybody fights over in our regular auction. Let's see who the winner is. The winner for this is Christina Kinzel. Christina Kinzel, congratulations on the homemade cherry pie. All right, Megan McDonald, another one of our amazing bakers. And Megan every day posts on Facebook the stuff she's making. I just drool. Anyway, she is going to make a berry and rhubarb tart. Berry and rhubarb tart. Doesn't that sound phenomenal? All right. And the winner, gotta really mix these up well. The winner for this is Melissa Copeland. Melissa Copeland, congratulations. Reva Fast, another one of our bakers at this church who loves to bake, and she often in the past has helped organize the dessert auction. So now you have a choice between a chocolate pie or a chocolate cake that she will make for you. All right, let's figure out where we are. Danetta Turk, congratulations. All right, and the last item, here we go. This is for the 4 Disneyland tickets. So these are 4 tickets. This is separate from the live auction, not to be confused with the 6 tickets in the live auction. We're getting there. Be patient. We're almost done. Here we are. There are many, many tickets. Can you hear it? All right, checking in. Mercy. Okay, here, there's a lot of pressure. Remember, you're going to be gracious. The system isn't perfect. We're doing the best we can. I'm not looking in the bag, I promise you. And I don't have any tickets in here, but I hope that somebody phenomenal wins it. And I'm sure they will be. Okay, here we go. Last draw. It is to Rod McNeely. Rod McNeely for the 4 Disneyland tickets. All right. Phew, I'm exhausted, but don't worry. I will tell you the amounts that are the winners for the live auction. So we're not going to say the names of the winners. They're going to be texted. But I'd like to let you know the name or the numbers that were donated for these 3 live auction events. All right. The first item in review is this lovely mountain cabin up near Mono Lake. It's for a 3-night weekend there. The winning bid is $1,301. $1,301. $1,301. You're being contacted right now to let you know that you are the winner, and we'll connect with you soon about that. The 6 Disneyland tickets, they're for 1-day hopper passes for Disneyland. The 6 tickets in the live auction, the winner is $1,755. $1,755. That's the winner on the Disneyland tickets. And the lovely beach house at Morro Bay, that's again for a 3-night stay there, is, hold on, hot off the presses, $1,650. $1,650. $1,650. I want to thank all of you. Oh, hold on one second. What's that? I have some breaking news for you folks. We have some incredibly generous people. The folks that own the mountain cabin up in Mono Lake have just let me know that they have decided to also award a weekend away for the second highest bidder. So if you are the second highest bidder for the Mono Lake weekend cabin, they will text you right now and let you know, and you are also going to be able to stay there. So the beauty is when people are generous, 2 families get to spend a weekend at this lovely cabin, and Face gets to make double the donation. We are incredibly grateful for that. It is a win-win situation. Whew. I want to thank you, all of you, for the significant generosity that has been exhibited during this event. Thank you for tuning in and spending your Thursday evening with us, sharing with us. Thank you for those of you who have donated items for a good cause, and thanks for having a lot of fun with the raffles and the live auction. You've won some amazing things, and more importantly, you've donated to an organization that makes a difference in this neighborhood and in this world. So I want to thank you for joining us during this celebration of hope. We are grateful that you spent your time with us. And now I want to pass it back to Lauren for a few closing comments.
First of all, Rhonda, I want to affirm you. You did an amazing job, and I just hope that PBS doesn't come by and try to lure you away from Face. I know there was a lot of action over there, and that was exciting to watch. And thank you, everybody who donated and contributed. We just really appreciate your generosity. I want to thank the owners of the Morro Bay House, the Mono Lake Cabin, and then, of course, the Corporation Disneyland. If you would like to continue to engage with us, I invite you to call our office if you have any questions or even feedback on this event that was the first time ever. And we also want to encourage you to get involved at some level, whatever that might be. God is on the move in Fresno. He's bringing change and transformation, not just in our neighborhood, but throughout the city, and you're a part of that. Thanks so much for being a part of the movement to restore hope and renew neighborhoods. May God give you a peaceful and restful night. Good night.